Now we're recording for Plus Expenses.
Yeah.
And now I'm the jerk eating peanut butter when we start recording.
Can't believe you would do this to our audience, Nathan. That is absolutely horrendous. That is unprofessional behavior.
That's true. I am, in fact, the worst.
My tea is too hot.
Oh, no. My tea is too hot.
Welcome to Plus Expenses, the after hours show for the Unwritten Earths podcast. Can I just say, we've been at this now, not podcasting, we've been podcasting for a while, but Unwritten Earths has existed now for, we're entering what, month 3?
Yeah.
I mean, we started thinking about it a while back.
Yeah, but I'd say we made a plan. We settled on a name, probably October at the earliest.
Yeah, so that's what I want to talk about. I really like our name. I don't care what other people say. I mean, nobody's been saying anything, but like
you've had some time to think about it, and you're happy to say that you like it.
Yeah, I really dig it. Okay, so little behind the scenes, little peek behind the curtain, because that's what Plus Expenses is about. We have an entire imaginary. That's the word I'm looking for. We have an entire imaginary reason behind, like, the Unwritten Earth Symposium is both a real company that is us and a fictitious symposium about a tear in the universe that allows us to access the library that contains knowledge of all of these other Earths that don't exist. I don't know if we've articulated that really well anywhere. That's fine. That'll come out eventually.
I think that's something that we get to do, like that matters for us.
Right.
And thus, as it comes out organically in the things we make, that's fine. But that's not like part of our branding or whatever.
Yeah. So we are role playing while we're being a company.
Right.
And you're welcome to join us.
Yes. All right. I checked, and the email thread where we started talking about all this stuff, where your reply, "That's good enough reasoning to sell me on the Unwritten Earth Symposium," is dated August 27th.
Okay. Good. That's 4 months.
Yeah, so I'd say September, and then we started making a plan in September. So I'd say September, October, November, December, January. Now it's early February, so we're in the 6th month.
The company itself officially exists starting 1 minute after midnight, January 1st.
It is exactly 5 years younger than Simone.
Yeah. So. Yeah, that's fun. Yeah, I was just thinking today. I was like, oh, I really dig. I dig what we're doing here.
Me too. You certainly hope that we would.
Yeah, exactly.
I think also our episode was just on productive constraints. It's something that I think has been very productive for me, at least. And I think I overuse this term, but is using the concept of the symposium as an organizing principle for making decisions about the company. So having kind of that academic-y kind of flavor to it, but having it, be about all these, this infinity of unwritten Earths, are the backbeats to making decisions about what to call things and how to phrase projects and stuff like that. And is also actually, I think, very clarifying for looking at stuff where we're what of our other catalog is going to end up under this umbrella.
Yeah,
spoiler alert, some of our back catalog is going to end up under the Unwritten Earths umbrella.
Yeah, I was looking at the whatchamacallit, the Discord, and the names for the Discord's channels are all the symposium idea, this pseudo academic feel to,
and we, our supporters are scholars, and
it's fun. It's a nice organizing principle. Anyways, that's just what I had to say there. That's all.
I think that kind of stuff matters. It's the kind of stuff that's invisible, is invisible in terms of the outward facing stuff. Anyone interacting with our stuff doesn't need to know or think about any of it. But the fact that we're thinking about it unifies our, I mean, that's what branding is, right? Unifies the output a little bit.
It also helps theme the annual. The annual has a purpose in that world that we've created, while it also does whatever it does in our world.
Yep.
We're role players. We go in and out of worlds all the time. That is what we do. I'm trying to think, okay, so it's only been a week since we talked.
And I do not remember what we talked about on Plus Expenses last week.
Yeah, I don't
I
either.
haven't
That's
edited
fine.
it yet. So we might repeat some stuff. Who knows?
Yeah, that's fine. Whatever. Repetition is the brevity of the soul. I don't know.
I'm always saying this.
Mm-hmm. Grandma Epi always used to say, I quite often I will quote Grandma Epi. There is no Grandma Epi. That's another.
But maybe there should be.
Yeah. Grandma Epi always used to say, like a cat, like a goddamn cat.
A thing I still say.
Yeah.
Also, I still say it's all in the books. Referencing your old email signature. I don't know if that's still your email signature.
I don't think it is, but yeah, that for those who aren't Voyager heads, Voyagers exclamation point. Yeah, was a 80s short-lived, tragically short-lived actually, 80s television show for kids, where Mino Palouse, who I think you all remember as the kid in the Dio Last in Line video, plays a young orphan. I think he's an orphan, or like I think he's living with his aunt and uncle. But anyways, who accidentally gets wrapped up in a time traveler. He gets embroiled with a time traveler. Oh no, he's not an orphan. He's got parents because his dad is a historian. This is why this kid knows things that this hapless time traveler doesn't know. And they go throughout history fixing it. It's a very time intense story. I loved it as an adult. I rewatched it and I enjoyed it. But they ended each episode with every episode, they went to 2 different time periods. And so they'll end each episode with if you want to learn more about the Alamo or Cleopatra, take a voyage down to your local library. It's all in books. And that part...
It's all in books. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the part that I made my email. If you would like to learn more about what was said in this email, take a voyage down to your local library. It's all in books. I loved it. Loved it. So, yeah, that's a thing that people should do more. Just quote that. Just quote Voyagers. And also, go to a local library.
Go down to your local library. Yeah.
Man, I love libraries.
I had a bunch of stuff became available that I had on hold for my ebook shelf recently. So I'm in the phase of okay, can I read all of these? Because they all came off at the same time. So it's all right, can I read all of these, or is there one that I should redo, release so that someone else can read it, and I'll get back to it next time. But I am in the middle of and quite enjoying a book that I think I've just has been mentioned a number of times over the years, and so I was like, oh, I should read that at some point. But it's The Lies of Locke Lamora. Oh yeah, I've heard of that. I've not read it, but I've heard good things. It's good. It's from the 2000s, I think, 2006, by Scott Lynch. Debut novel. So I kind of thought it would be a little I know nothing about it other than the title, and I think a friend of both of us, I believe Judd, had talked about it a decent amount. And I think it's pretty influential for a lot of his sensibilities. I feel like that's why I associate talking about it. I could be wrong. Yeah. Anyway, so for whatever reason, I was maybe a historical inflected kind of fantasy thing. It's not. It's a full fantasy thing, full bespoke world that is kind of built by learning about it through the story of the main character's name is Locke Lamora, so that's that's interesting. I would have thought that was the right. I thought it was a location or something. Yeah. But importantly, it is a con game story, or at least so far. Now we're talking. So I was like, oh, that's what this is. So I'm very in. It's good. I give it a recommend without really talking too much about it, because I think it's probably fun to read and discover as you read. And I'm only about a third of the way through it so far, so anything could happen. But yeah, it's very Lankmar-y, I think. I was gonna say it's sword and sorcery-ish, and it kind of is, but it's more Lankmar, less Elric or Conan, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's 2 nested card games happening in it right now. So
good.
I'm in. I'm like I'm quite enjoying it.
I think I mentioned this last time, but I have King Khan.
Yeah, you did mention it. I don't know if you started reading. I was going to ask, have you started reading it yet?
I read the first chapter, or the
like
prelude or whatever.
Yeah, prelude kind of. Yeah,
I'm pretty psyched for what's. I don't want to make any predictions about it, but it has this. It does that prelude is just like here's a bad thing that happened to a slippery guy, and now I presume the rest of the book is that guy's vengeance, and I don't know, but I'm like. I'm kind of like
you're not wrong.
I can't wait. yeah. I mean, like it's heavily hinted at the very. It might even be like.
I think it's just the premise of the book.
Yeah,
like,
he just says
like if you read like the Dust Jacket, I think it tells you.
Yeah. And so I'm like, oh, I'm in. I am in for this.
Good.
I try to think of like, man, with it only being a week and we've saw each other on like 2 days. Trying to think if there's like. I learned some computer stuff. That's not exciting. I've watched more Scarecrow and Mrs. King.
Right. Always good. I started, I think this was before our last recording, but I have started rewatching Samurai Champloo, which I think came up on the Discord actually. Which is, if you're not aware, an anime show from the same director of Cowboy Bebop. So Cowboy Bebop is a blues inflected space story, and Samurai Champloo is a hip hop inflected Edo period not samurai but Edo period adventure story, but it has like a similar sensibility. And I've liked it for a long. I have it on DVD, so I was like, for some reason it came up and I was like, oh, I should watch this. So I've been ripping the DVDs. So I have them on my Plex, and that's been interesting because so I don't know how much like media ripping you've done.
No, not much.
Movies are pretty easy. So there's a whole thing with TV.
Like how does it get categorized?
Yeah. But old mass market DVDs of TV shows.
Oh.
Because a lot of them, because these are just like DVDs, like they're not like a special edition or anything, right? Yeah. They're basically just one big file with all of the episodes on that disc in it. So ripping it from the disc means that you end up with one big file with all of the episodes in it. And like that is not very helpful for watching. So I actually had to do a little research and find a separate tool to split the file into individual episodes, which isn't like, it's not hard, but like it means I have to do a little bit more down at the computer work. So I've done that for like 2 of the discs, and I have 1 more disc I still need to do. So I'm slowly rewatching so that I will do that to the 3rd one before I like hit that and have to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's fun to revisit because it's the kind of thing where it's like I watched it enough in the 2000s.
Yeah, it was aughts, wasn't it?
Like somewhere in there. That I remember everything, but then there's details that I don't remember, or like I don't remember when a thing happened. But then something will happen and I'll be like, oh, this particular image is burned into my brain. And then seeing it in context again, it's like, so that's some cool stuff. Anyway, so that's been fun. I've been slowly rewatching that in between my usual have Columbo on while I'm playing Hearthstone evening wind down, which is my current deal.
I had a moment, I shared this with the Discord, but I was just, while I was working on some stuff, I like to have music playing, but I have a very particular set of constraints. It's our theme today on the music. Like, it can't have lyrics. I can't work and have somebody talking in my ear, even if that talking is singing and beautiful singing. It doesn't matter. And it can't be, like there's a bunch of things where I'm like, I need it to be of a certain variety just to, I mean, like, I'm not alone. Oftentimes like lo-fi beats is like exactly what I need, or something like that. But I had done a YouTube search for ambient music from the 80s because I was like, I need to remind myself of what that sounds like as opposed to like what current people do when they make ambient music that sounds like the 80s.
Yeah.
Those are two different genres.
Mm-hmm.
But and I had it playing in the background, and it hit a song that I had on a record.
Mm-hmm.
I had a single of the Doctor Who theme for the Fifth Doctor, his theme, and on the B side was this song called Astronauts. And I haven't had records in years, and I just, I know that song, but I didn't know who did it, or like I never researched it or anything like that. It's just back then I'm playing, I have probably a dozen records,
Mm-hmm.
and you just play them over and over again. So like that song was burnt into my brain, but then it just disappeared because I had it on no other media, and then it came up on YouTube, and I just had this vivid sense memory of like laying on the living room floor when I was a kid with my record player and just listening to it, and I was like, wow, it's there, it exists.
That's
which is fun. I like that, like those moments when you have, it takes you back back to the past. Samurai Jack, that's a different samurai thing. But
yeah, I feel like we've come full circle on physical media, where I mean, I think even if you're a real plus expenses head, I feel like you probably could have heard this over the years.
Yeah.
Like kind of like frustration with like having a bunch of like stuff sitting around and whatever. And then especially when you move, right? There's a whole like how much, getting rid of stuff or whatever. But simultaneously, the stranglehold on media by these streaming companies has created circumstances where now it's like,
I need to have physical media.
If I want these things in the long term, I actually need to have physical media. And then my particular half measure is ripping, keeping the physical media and then ripping it and keeping the digital files on my own server, which is good for access because I actually will watch, because I'm like not sitting down and putting DVDs in the DVD player. Like, it's just,
like a Neanderthal.
Yeah, like a Neanderthal.
Why would you?
Like the only time I watch TV or a movie is in bed on my laptop before I go to sleep. If it's on the TV, it's because Simone's watching it. That's
right.
Like a millennial. But now I'm like, even the ones that I've ripped, do I want to get rid of the disc? Because someday this, if this computer explodes or, whatever, I have a catastrophic, like I have it backed up or whatever, but things can happen.
Do you get a binder so you reduce the clutter?
I do.
Of
the... I have boxes for CD size boxes with sleeves for DVDs, and then we have some CDs. I don't care about as much. I do rip CDs. I'm like, oh, I have this CD, so I'll rip it so I have the files, but I also am streaming stuff. Music isn't so like, I'm not such a like, I don't have a niche interest that requires, like, most of the music I want to listen to, I can I can either stream or I can like find it on Bandcamp and buy it. So that's not as big a deal. It's mostly movies and TV shows where I'm like, so I have a little stack of DVDs where I'm like, okay, I ripped these, I have them on the server, and they're not important. It's like the Blade movies, right? Like I like the Blade movies. I'm happy to watch them when I feel like it. I probably don't need the DVDs. It's okay. Like those are okay if those end up being lost to time. Though Blade 2 is one of the greatest horror-ish action movies of all time.
I'm not gonna genre check you. That's not my job.
I mean, it doesn't have Batman, but
Batman. He's everything.
But then there's a couple where I'm like, I don't know, like I don't really want to get rid of my Samurai Champloo DVDs, even though they're not important, because I'm like, I don't know if this show is still gonna like live somewhere someday. I don't know. What do? You have to make calls, I guess.
I have some CDs that are like obscure enough that like, I have trouble finding them. So I hold on to those. And now I find that my music thing, because there's a CD player in the car, and the car can play things off of my phone, but the steps required to do that are probably not onerous. They're probably pretty easy, but they include letting text messages pop up on the I don't need to know that. I don't need while I'm driving. I don't care if people text me. The older I get, I'm very adamant about like, you're not allowed to notify me at any given moment. I will respond in due time on my terms. But so I don't I don't have my phone work that way. So when I think of music that I've had in the past, quite often on tape, that I wanted, for a road trip or something like that, I'm like, all right, maybe I'll pick up, maybe I'll pick that up on CD. Like that's the barrier there. I don't feel like I'm offering scintillating conversation. What's going on, Epi? Come on.
I will say that one thing that is happening is that no one's making like standalone DVD players anymore because there's no market for it, or Blu-ray players. So that is a narrowing thing where it's going to be like tape decks where there'll be like someone who does them as a nostalgia thing, and you'll be able to find them at Goodwills, and like that's it.
I went this holiday season to get Emily a CD player because we do have CDs, like I just mentioned. And I was like, the only CD player we have is either the drive in my laptop, and probably the next laptop I get won't have it. Or, I guess I could put it in the Xbox or something, but whatever, I'm not going to do that. Or the car, right? So I was like, we would like one just to listen to music in the house or whatever. And
you need a boombox is what you need.
Yeah, something like that. And I went physically looking for them. Mm-hmm. I went to stores. Mm-hmm. You know what I found?
Things you can plug your phone into?
Record players.
Oh, yeah.
Even places that were selling CDs weren't selling CD players. They were selling record players. It's weird. Mm-hmm. I get it. Like right now there's and there has been for quite a while, like a nostalgic, I did my nostalgic hands, so people know that I'm, But anyways, I'm not an audiophile, so it doesn't, I do like the warm sound of record scratching, but, it's just very surprising to me that,
There's a market for record players, but not for CD players. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. The other problem with CDs is we're hitting a lot of the stuff from the 90s. We're hitting the point where some of those discs are degrading.
Yeah.
So they're not even really worth keeping as storage. So it's I better rip it so that I have it. Mm-hmm. And then, I have I think I bought it off of Amazon, a Blu-ray drive that I can plug into a computer to get stuff off of it. But even those are, not very many companies make them.
I have a sneaking suspicion that I have gone over the event horizon for used books that I enjoy.
Oh, yeah.
Part of it might be just the used book market changes or whatever, but I do think that the stuff that I'm looking for has now fallen so much apart.
Oh, yeah.
Over the years that used bookstores don't carry those anymore, because the covers are coming off.
Putting the P in pulp, something like that.
Yeah. So, it's weird getting old, I guess, is what the whole thing is. I wanted to just share a little joke that I get told every time. I don't remember what streaming service this is, but some streaming service, every time I open it up, it tells me a little joke. And that joke is, it has a little section that's we think you'll like, or recommended, or something like that. And the number one thing is the Rockford Files. Oh, you think? You think I might?
You think I might?
Okay.
Well, nice. That's nice.
Yeah.
Speaking of the Rockford Files and cons, a couple weeks ago, I was like, I'm going to watch Rockford Files. And I watched...
for fun.
Yeah,
just for fun.
And I watched the There's One in Every Port.
I don't think I've seen that episode.
That's good. I appreciate that you had to brace for that. I saw.
Yeah, I did. I had to I knew I was going to say it.
Yeah.
But I was like, oh, can I hold this? All right, go on. Yes, that's a wonderful episode.
Yeah. So that's the con game one where Rockford runs a counter con after getting conned. And it's great. Yeah. It was a great episode. I really enjoyed watching it.
Yeah.
I wasn't taking notes. It was great.
Yeah. I'm actually kind of looking forward to at some point in the near future just being I want to watch some Rockford Files, just like you were saying, it's weird.
It is a little weird because scrolling through the episodes, it's okay, that one, that knowing intimately what each one, what their deal is. I'm like that with Columbo too, where I'm like, oh, it's that one, and I either need to sit there forever deciding which one I'm in the mood for, or I just need to close my eyes and pick one at random.
Yeah,
I know them too well.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's not I've been burnt out on the Rockford Files in any way.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like right up to the end, like, in the end we
We're watching movies.
were watching some that I'd never seen before.
We watched we watched the pilot.
Oh, we finished with the final episode.
And we finished with the final episode, which I hadn't seen.
Yeah, I had not finished that season because we started doing the podcast before I finished the season, and I was like, why would I watch the Rockford Files if I'm not getting paid? No. Why would I watch? It was just like and so it's a joy straight to the end, but like because we dove so deep on them, I gotta have some space.
Yeah,
but I do feel the urge from time to time.
Well, you can, again, because I have them all on my Plex, I'm scrolling through a list. You can do the classic, just close your eyes, pull out a DVD out of just pull one out of the collection.
I can shuffle my DVDs.
You can shuffle them. Yeah, a thing you should do with discs.
What a nightmare that would present a future Epi. When he's like, I got to find this one episode. What did I do? Why did I shuffle these?
Not now, but I have been thinking that we should decide on a time frame for doing Marlowe, because I do think we should do that and do at least one, like, in calendar year 2025, we should do an episode, a little love letter tribute episode thing. Yeah. Obviously, we're not going to do it right this second, but like we should probably talk about when it would be realistic for us to do a 200 a day, keep the flame alive.
So far in Plus Expenses, we've talked about everything but role-playing games.
Well, right, because we have a whole show to talk about role-playing games.
Yeah, you're right. I was going to ask you a question about role-playing games.
Please.
No, I wasn't. I lied. How's Ellipsis treating you?
Oh, good. Do you want to explain to our listeners what Ellipsis is?
Ellipsis is a web-based writing platform for collaborative writing. Pretty sure that
sounds right.
How would they describe themselves? Let me just go to what's Ellipsis? Learn how we're simplifying collaborative writing. We're building a better way to write, edit, and okay, I don't need to read this. This is what it is. It is a text editor. I would say it's not a word processor. There's definitely a spell checker, but like
there is, but I think you have to invoke it. Yeah, you have to turn on the spell check. Yeah,
which is good. I mean, okay, so here's the thing. I have preferences towards text editors over word processors because I want less of the bells and whistles getting in my way. I shouldn't word it that way, but my brain doesn't work well if the computer starts telling me to pay attention to something.
Sure.
I just don't want it to do that. So it's web-based, which is not my favorite. I don't like working in a browser, but that's fine. Whatever. You can format your text with some fairly basic formatting.
Potentially, you could write. I mean, you could do Markdown, import it. I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, then the whole point is the collaboration tools, right? And for that, it's hard to do that not web-based.
Yeah. So, but the collaboration tools, I think, is what. So this is the neat thing about it. It's new. It's fairly new, and so they're still like in alpha or beta testing or something like that. But the collaboration tools is you have a main document, and then you can have drafts, and when you make a draft, it copies the main document, and then you do whatever you want in there. And then when you're like, oh, I've made the changes I want to make, you can merge it with the main document and it will go through all the changes and you select.
Yeah, you approve the changes.
You approve them. Yeah. What I like about this for collaborative work is that means like there's a source of truth, your main document, and each of your collaborators can open their own drafts and write however they want off of those. And you can even control who has the ability to merge, right? Like you own the document, so you could do all the things. But then if you share it with someone, you could be like, you're allowed to make drafts, but you can't merge. I have to like say and that's it. I'm responsible for merging.
Yeah.
More than, anything else. Or just to make sure somebody doesn't accidentally erase your work or whatever. Or you could both be responsible and each have your own draft and just be like, here's the main one. Which I like. I really like that. If you do stuff in computers, you're used to like version control. And this is kind of what this gets at.
Yeah, it has like version control. It's kind of Well, we haven't really done like a full like here's a separate draft and merge it
We
yet, right?
just
So,
found it this week. So
yeah.
yeah.
So we'll see what how that process goes. But there is something to it where my frustration with doing collaborative stuff like in Google Docs, which is what most stuff is these days, is that the ability to roll back to earlier things is a little all or nothing. Like it's a little clunky.
Yeah.
It's a little all or nothing. And sometimes I can't find the thing I'm looking for. Like I know that I made this change, or I know that someone else edited this file, but now I can't find what it was they edited, like that kind of stuff. It's opaque to me in Google Docs about some edge cases, and I don't really love it. I also would love to get away from Google. Ellipsis, it's ellipsus, like things are sus.
Suspect. Yeah.
I think it's European, right? They're like German or something.
Yeah, the way I found out about it is that on the back end they use a programming language that I like, and I saw a job listing and I thought, ooh, I'd be interested. And they were like, you can work from home, but like you have to be in the EU or in EU hours or something like that. But I think they are German, yeah.
But they have a upfront no AI stance, which is great.
Yes.
Yes. That gets my seal of approval. Anyway, to answer your question, I've been liking it. I put pet crimes in there. I started drafting the thing I'm currently doing a little work for the annual. I just started drafting it in Ellipsis just to kind of see how that process is. I'm just, rolling stock with all their formatting. I'm not because you can change the font and all that stuff. I think their default choices are pretty good.
It's quite easy on the eyes.
Yeah, I'm not worried about that. I know that, we can export it out to Markdown. We can export, all that stuff is there. So I'm not too worried. So once we get into the versioning, I guess we'll find out.
I was just playing around with pet crimes here, and I got into the version history, and it's nice. Like it looks like while you were working on it, every 10 minutes it took a snapshot of what you were doing, so you could go through those. And then instead of having to say, oh, I want to bring this forward as the main, when you click on it, it says restore as a new draft. And then you can go through the merge process.
Yeah, that's cool.
So I'm really kind of excited about this.
They have a compare tool, so you can just side by side flag the differences between older versions and the current version.
This compare tool is nice because you can lock the scroll. And what's fun about that is you can see as you scroll down how much faster the bigger document scrolls compared to the other one. I don't know what magic they're using underneath to determine how one side compares to the other. I bet it's just percentage is what they're doing here. So since the latest document is maybe twice as large as the other one, it's scrolling twice as fast is all that's happening there. So whatever. This is all just like little details. I'm really hopeful for it because I do like it's got a small set of features, and I hope it stays small, and they do it well. The only problem I have is that sometimes this stuff can be intensive on a web page to the point where it slows down. And if I'm writing a thing, I don't want to have to wait for the computer to catch up with me. That's just one of the things that I'm I'm not that fast of a thinker / typer, but
they do have this focus mode where it's just nothing, where it's just a blank.
Oh yeah, that's right.
A white background and text, and then you can invoke the outline. But other than that, it doesn't have all the little widgets and stuff.
Yeah, that's nice.
I don't think I would notice. I haven't noticed any particular
slowdown.
I know there was a little bit with that because it has some features for exporting a snippet, and it's nicely formatted, so you can post it on Blue Sky or whatever, and it kind of advertises the service. And that seems like it's a little slow, but it's also not a tool I'm going to use. So
yeah. One thing about it that I'm kind of curious about is when we get into multiple, at some point, all of this is a single document is what I'm saying.
Yes.
And so at some point, let's say pet crimes, we decide to do a dungeon master's guide for pet crimes, right?
Right.
Along with the player's handbook. Do we do it all in one? We probably just do two different.
Yeah, you probably do them in separate. I mean, it does outline, so you can use headers to separate the sections, right?
Yeah. I think just like a little bit.
But it is one endless scroll document. It's not like pages. Yeah.
I think all it needs is like in your my work or shared thing is just have a folder situation.
Yeah, I think that's what they want you to do is to make a folder, and then in the folder you have each individual like chapter or whatever.
Yeah. There is folders. Oh, okay, done. Solved my problem. I just didn't see the folder. So
yeah, their little intro email had a thing where it's like, we're using that good old standby folders, and I'm like, good.
Yeah.
Like sometimes things are just the right thing. That's fine. Yeah, no, I've been digging it.
Yeah.
One kind of interesting thing about, setting up Unwritten Earths as its own, as the business is having a discrete reason to move away from these free privacy destroying tools. Not that we have a corporate reason to like keep secrets or whatever, but more like
we have a moral reason.
We have a moral reason, and it's in this time of getting out of AI cruft, right? So it's like we are willing to pay for email so that it is a separate, so it's not part of Gmail. So we have our own actual service that we own. Obviously we're using a service for like, we're using an email provider, but we own our data because it's our website, it's our domain and everything.
Yeah. Because Google what did they say? It was like they removed the promise to not use
AI for weapons development.
And so at that point I was like, okay,
great. Awesome.
Got to get out of Google. And we're so entrenched in it that it's going to be a process. But this company, like, don't ever trust a company, not even Unwritten or Symposium.
Right.
But this company front and center is saying the right things about like AI and other stuff. So that's kind of nice.
Yeah. And I wonder, and it is like kind of beta. I don't know what their monetization plan is, right? Like at some point, I imagine they'll start charging for it.
Yeah, they probably will. I think right now it's they're courting funding, which is always like, no matter what morals a company has, if they're courting funding, then you can't trust it. But
yeah, and also we can export everything, and
like the fact that it exports everything to just Markdown, which is I don't want to get Markdown is not technical at all. Like it's human readable. It's very like unlike say like when I grabbed all of my Twitter data before closing that down, that's in this file format that like I can search it. Like but I wrote programs to search it. I'm sure other people have made those available, but it was like, it's not the same as just having a text file that just is your thing.
Yeah.
Nice and simple.
Yep. It's the part of navigating the ongoing hellscape is like, what's the least, what's the thing that we can use that will actually do what we need it to do. That will be the least evil version. And it also extends to like Discord, right? Like, don't trust Discord. Like the company is, has not proven itself to be trustworthy, but also like for the kind of community we want to build, I think there's not really a better option at this time. So
I have a deep, deep desire to write all of the software that we want to use, but also I have a deep, deep desire to write the games that we're doing.
Right.
And neither one of those can happen at the same time.
Yeah. I mean, it's nice that our like website is just a website. It doesn't have a bunch of like stuff. We're not storing, you don't have to do a cookies thing. We're not storing anything. It's nice. That's one thing with doing, because I, use Squarespace for my site, and it's like, gotta do the like cookies thing because the service uses cookies. So you have to have that and all that disclaimers and all that stuff. It's just like, they've been doing AI stuff for a while. Their tool or their feature is basically like doing automated they do have a feature where it's like, just click this button and we'll make the website for you, which I think is probably BS. I'm sure it makes something for you, but like how much are you gonna have to tweak it?
Do you enjoy editing and debugging? Because that's all you're going to do.
Is it any different than picking a template, which is what you already do? But their other one is for writing. So it's like, if you're doing it, if you add a new product, it's like, we'll use our AI to generate the product description for you, and it'll be like SEO optimized and stuff like that. And at one point I was like, okay, I'm curious, like, what is this actually going to do? I'm like, okay. I think it's when I was adding Warlock Pro to the site, because that was the latest thing I had since they rolled out these features.
Yeah.
And you can be like, make it active, or make it informal, or make it businessy, you know.
Yeah.
But what it actually wrote, I probably should have screenshotted it because it was kind of funny. It was just a combination of all the, whenever you do any wrestling promotion-y thing, cliches, but used wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Get in the ring with your favorite characters from Warlock Pro. And it's like, that's not what this game is. To kind of crib from a Douglas Adamsism, it's like, it was exactly wrong. It was exactly perfectly, diabolically the wrong way to write what I was trying to write, while being like correct.
There's this thing about it that like getting AI to write things for you and then having to edit it is so tedious. I mean, I haven't done it. Like I'm it's like I can't say that I'm speaking from experience, but like seeing AI text as I've seen it, and it's a little bit like right. I'm of an age where I have to take cholesterol pills. I have a little cholesterol pill. It's a tiny little white oval thing, this big, the statin. Anyways, if I drop that on a countertop, I can find it. If I drop it in a bowl of rice, I can't. AI is just making you a bowl of rice filled with that stuff, and you have to. You know what I mean? Like the better the AI gets, the harder it is to find the problems. But they're still there. I shouldn't have used that pill. I should have been like, dropped a pin in your rice. You know, like it's like you can find a pin if it dropped on like a sheet of paper. That's easy. But if you drop it into a bowl of rice, it's like, where'd it go?
Right.
Yeah, gets better at obscuring its dangerous problems. Like, whatever. I might be off on a tear that I shouldn't be off on. But the point is,
I'm kind of like, all right, I need to figure out how I can like not be using something that is full of AI stuff for my website. Exactly. And like, that's not something I can turn on I can't just flip a switch to like change unless I take the time to do that, which means I'm not writing for this and I'm not doing other projects. Cause like, yeah. So, you know, we're all a work in progress.
Constantly forever.
I
mean, yeah, this is a thing that like, as I do job hunting as well, I'm finding that pointing out just how much, in order to publish role-playing games, the like litany of skills you have to amass, and not in the easy way, but in the Conan chained to the wheel of pain way. You know, like you learn the hard way about layout, or you learn the hard way about judging how many books to publish to print before selling. You learn the hard way about, you know, doing your own shipping or like carrying your own books to a convention center. You're like, I need to get a dolly. I remember the first convention I came back with where I was like, I'm now shopping for a dolly because I am not. And at that, I was a young man then. I was a young man, and I was like, nope, not doing that again.
Yeah.
But that's not necessarily a skill. That's just
there's experience.
Not being the idiot that I was. But like, having to learn how to track your money and track your time and make, you know, estimates and
also like work with other people in different capacities. And yeah, it's a lot of skills that are overlapping and only valued in this weird bubble.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we value you.
Yes.
I say that to both Nathan on the other side of the screen here, but also to you, the listener, and whatever skills you bring to the table. Because I don't know why I'm getting maudlin about this. All right. How you doing?
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. That's the dangerous question.
Yeah. We have a little getaway coming up.
You're going to go skiing.
Going to go skiing. We're going to get Simone on some skis, do a little bit of skiing. I haven't been skiing in years. I used to ski all the time. We lived somewhere where we could like just go to a ski area during the winter. So, you know, growing up, we did a lot of skiing. But yeah, since basically, I mean, the 1-2 of pandemic child really, put the kibosh on ski trips for a while. But Simone is into the idea, so we'll see how she likes it.
Kibosh would be a good name for a finishing move. I put the kibosh.
Or a wrestler, Kibosh.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm. The finisher, Kibosh.
Yes.
All right. Very good. I have a, back of the head percolating is another standalone promotion for Worldwide Wrestling, because I think Warlock Pro was a good, turned out to be a proof of concept. Like, I wasn't trying for it, like it was just what it was. Right, but
you liked how that.
Yeah. But I liked how it went, and I think it was a good proof of concept for like doing more
genre benders.
Yeah.
Or just short. Just
the short promotion, like, so the model of like, here's the game and then here's like a promotion, and it's adding, it has a bunch of custom stuff that you add to your game to like play in that promotion. I've been putting my long-term thinking brain, that's its job right now, is to be like, what would be another good, because I still want to do the multi-universe book, but like that might integrate into Unwritten Earth stuff, so like I'm not sure, I'm not sure what, there's no timeline for that. But I could do another 24-page, promotion.
Yeah.
And I'm thinking about maybe doing one that's actually more sports based, where it's like the extra stuff is like kind of like backgrounds. So it's like your wrestlers coming from like an amateur wrestling background or a gymnastics background or a football background. And having that play into the promotion. And so the promotion's kind of like not like MMA, but kind of like a Premier Athletic League kind of thing. And it's like a focus on like sport, which is something I always really like from like British grappling and everything. Anyway, that's kind of what that's my might do this.
So like you might have like a shot putter or a footballer and then like a 60-year-old pro golfer.
Yeah. As the manager.
It's good. I like it.
Oh yeah, no, that's good. Yeah, kind of be expansive about like sports. Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, what is the tennis pro, the swimmer, and the like
stock car racer.
Yeah, stock car racer. But I was thinking curler, like Olympic curler.
Oh yes.
Like, what do you all bring to the table? Like, I need to figure like, what does that actually mean? Like, are there some like, what's rule stuff? What is the promotion actually? What's the narrative stuff? But like something in that realm, because it's kind of like the opposite side, like, because Warlock Pro is all like the supernatural stuff, but like here's another promotion that you can play, and it's like just a totally different world, something like that.
You could have I don't know if the sports themselves are going to end up being skins or playbooks or what are they?
Gimmicks.
Thank you. But like an esport gimmick would be just like it's just like this is
it's like the gimmick of the promotion is like everyone on the roster is a prestige athlete from a different sport, and esports are sports. Yeah,
that'd be fun. Yeah, I dig it.
I'll keep that in mind. The other thing is I'm still noodling on your idea of the Saturday morning cartoon version, but that's probably not a promotion. That's more of like a hack. So
yeah.
Anyway, so that's what I'm thinking about.
I know that like we're supposed to, in our main podcast, tempt each other into games, but I wonder if there's a swords Worldwide Wrestling smash up we could do at some point. I don't know exactly how that would look, but it would be kind of fun to think about.
Yeah, maybe do a bunch of like scrolls.
Oh yeah,
I think bringing wrestling stuff into Swords Without Master has more juice than like
other way. Playing Conan versus Elric in the ring,
which like is something that I have some notes for, but is like not Swords Without Master. Specifically.
No,
like scrolls of grappling, scrolls of
arena.
Yeah, or like promotion, like a announcing your scroll of proclaiming your name or something like that. Like so like issue challenges, stuff like that.
Yeah, it's something to think about, because I think there'd be some fun stuff. Yeah. Well, I think about it. I'm trying to tempt you, buddy.
I'm already thinking about it. Okay.
Well, did we design a game?
Did we design a game yet? Tune in next time to Plus Expenses to find out. It will be a couple weeks till we record again. So
Yeah.
until then, friends, though I guess it won't be by the time you hear this. By the time you hear this, my RPG design zine will be done.
Yeah.
So there might be late pledges, and if there's not late pledges, it'll just be available to get. So there's that. Yeah, I don't know, zine month. There is a little bit of like searching out some of the gems that people are working on, which is nice because it's a little bit of being on the hunt, like you say.
Yeah.
But I'm only backing like a couple things right now.
Yeah.
That's the wonderful thing about zines. They can be a wide variety for lots of different people.
Yeah, I agree. I'm just going to agree with everything. I'm co-signing everything you just said. That's all good.
I guess with that, we should go ahead and sign off. But
yeah,
stay strong out there.
Yeah. You know what?
What?
Here's the thing.
Okay.
Had a discussion this morning with the bakers and just talking about how having a community activity like role playing is great for keeping networks alive and mutual support. So play with friends, check in on them. Just make sure people are doing all right, get them what they need, and keep them safe, right?
Yeah. Well said. I co-sign everything you just said.
All right. Sounds good.